Hello and welcome to my channel. This is going to be a bit of a series that I'm going to call Frivolous Fridays. It's all about a little bit of light-hearted chat, maybe some facts, and maybe some games even might get thrown in. But what you're seeing is me doing a dot-to-dot from my book. It's been a while since I've done one of them. This is a bit of a can you tell what it is yet kind of thing. And then I'm going to throw in these facts in amongst them. So these facts tonight are from Australia. I have weird laws and I have Australian kind of travel interesting facts. So some of them may or may not be up to date. I can't verify how true these are, so you know, treat them as factoids and something a little bit light-hearted. So fact number 1. The Australian Alps get more snow than the Swiss Alps. While many people visit Australia for its brilliant beaches and year-round sunshine, the Australian Alps, straddling New South Wales and Victoria, are a mecca for skiing enthusiasts. Snow usually falls between June and September, meaning Australia is the perfect place to get your skiing fix during the Northern Hemisphere summer. Thredbo and Perisher are two large resorts near Canberra, and the latter being the largest ski resort in the Southern Hemisphere. Blue Cow Mountain is one of the most popular areas, with a vast range of accommodation and runs, as well as stunning views across the Alps. On to some weird facts. Apparently it is illegal to wear hot pink pants after midday on a Sunday. Now I can't vouch for where these facts actually originate from. And it is an offence to possess 50 kilos of potatoes in Western Australia. I don't know how anyone can actually carry 50 kilos of potatoes, and only in the current climate are people kind of hoarding that kind of amount of food. But 50 kilos of potatoes, it's a bit Irish. 90% of Australians live on the coast. The large deserts of Central Australia means that the vast majority of the population live on the shores of the enormous country. The large cities of Perth, Sydney and Melbourne are iconic places to visit, with buzzing centres and a multitude of beaches. From the sands of Bondi, which is very small, to the surf of Trigg. Outside the major hubs, there are hundreds of smaller beach towns where you can appreciate Australia's beautiful coastline. Explore Port Macquarie in New South Wales and catch your own dinner, or head up to Queensland to discover the parties of Airlie Beach. Australia's island status means there are thousands of surf towns and beaches to be found, so follow the masses and head to the coast. Or maybe not, get away from the masses. Alright, another weird fact. Taxi cabs in Queensland are required to carry a bale of hay in the trunk. I am not sure I've ever seen a taxi driver carrying a bale of hay in the trunk. Bars are required to stable, water and feed the horses of their patrons. The island of Tasmania is the ideal spot to experience... Sorry, the title of this one is Tasmania has the cleanest air in the world. The island of Tasmania is the ideal spot to experience the great outdoors. With air as clean as Antarctica, around 1/3 of the state is a national park or World Heritage protected. It is a walker's paradise, with trails and walkways winding over the whole island, where the coastal paths reveal impressive views over Wineclass Bay and the Bay of Fires. If walking isn't your cup of tea, enjoy kayaking, mountain biking and exploring the island's caves. The wildlife is an extension of the unique animals to Australia, where the eastern quoll, now considered extinct on the mainland, is commonly sighted on the fertile farmland of Tasmania. Back to the weird facts. You must wear a neck-to-knee swimsuit in order to swim at Brighton Beach in Melbourne. Now, excuse me just a second. My light's dimmed and I can't see what I'm doing, and I don't know why my light's dimmed. Alright, it is illegal to roam the streets wearing black clothes, felt shoes and black shoe polish on your face, as these items are the tools of a cat burglar. The Great Barrier Reef is the largest ecosystem in the world. The Great Barrier Reef is the pride and joy of Australia, made up of nearly 2,500 individual reefs and is visible from space. It's stretched halfway down the eastern coast of the country, meaning there are plenty of places to be used as jumping off points to explore the kaleidoscopic coral. Most of it is dying or in some kind of struggle at the moment too, so please be warned about that. Cairns is the most famous city to begin the trip out of the reef, but Townsville, Port Douglas and Airlie Beach all have great beaches and various tours that can take you out to enjoy the Great Reef. Snorkeling and diving amongst the colourful fish and turtles that make the Great Barrier Reef their home is sure to be a highlight of any trip to Australia. Back to a weird fact. The Summary Offences Act of 1966 deems it illegal to be heard by someone singing an obscene song. The article includes, does that include Taylor Swift? Oops. And apparently it is illegal to dress up as Batman and Robin, or as they say, Robin and Batman, which seemed all kinds of strange. Australia has over 60 separate wine regions. You can't go to Australia and not try wine. With a large variety of wine regions, it's hard to choose between them. The majority of wine regions are in New South Wales and Victoria, so if you fancy discovering a few of them on a road trip between Sydney and Melbourne, would be a great way to go about it. Take your time to explore the Southern Highlands, Tumbarumba, the Alpine Valleys, one of the most picturesque wine regions in Australia, yielding wine from a variety of grapes from Sauvignon Vert to Chardonnay. Western Australia also has a number of vineyards that are all reachable from Perth, a great trip out of the city to enjoy the wine regions of Australia. Alright, another weird fact would be that only licensed electricians may change a light bulb. We don't actually do it quite that strictly. And it is illegal to be drunk in a pub. We do have responsible service of alcohol, but you still get plenty of drunks in the pub. Fraser Island is the largest sand island in the world. The sandy shores of Fraser Island are a highlight of any trip to Queensland. Harvey Bay is a jumping off point for exploring the island, so hop on a boat and discover the delights of this island paradise. The clear blue waters of Lake Mackenzie, surrounded by white sand shore, and the serenity of champagne pools, where you can swim in the shallow pools at the edge of the ocean. There are 150 dingoes on the island, so it is a great opportunity to spot one of the famous wild dogs, but keep your distance as they are wild animals and can be aggressive if approached. They have actually killed people and attacked, so yeah, please be careful with dingoes. They look a bit retriever, Labrador-like in some ways, but they're not friendly. It is illegal, this one is for Sherry, it is illegal to read someone's tarot or give them a psychic reading, as they are forms of witchcraft. Having an article of disguise without a lawful excuse is illegal. Alright, back to some hopefully real facts. The Indian Pacific train has the longest straight stretch of train track in the world. Australia boasts a number of spectacular rail journeys. Between Sydney and Perth lies the Indian Pacific. The railway that snakes its way across the country is through the stunning Blue Mountains into the outback towards the mountainous Flinders Range. So that's the one that goes from left to right, right to left. Stopping off in Adelaide is a must, enjoying gourmet food, art museums and the wide open spaces of the city. Moving off again takes you across the Nullarbor Plain, I've been there, where the straight section occurs before sweeping through the fertile Avon Valley and into Perth. Riding the Indian Pacific is a wonderful way to see the varied landscapes of Australia while enjoying the luxury services of the train. Back to the weird facts. In the Gold Coast, it is illegal for a woman to wear a bikini whose material exceeds 6 square inches. Goodbye Brazilian bikini bottoms. Okay. And it is illegal to leave your car keys inside an unattended vehicle. Okay. The Great Ocean Road is the world's largest war memorial. The Great Ocean Road is one of the most famous drives in Australia, with stunning views and scenic vistas along the route. Built by returning soldiers after World War I, the road was dedicated as a memorial to those who died fighting, and was designed to connect the isolated communities that clung along the edges of Victoria's rugged coastline. The 12 Apostles, of which there are only like 6.5 left, are the most famous sight on the winding road, but the Split Point Lighthouse, the charming towns of Port Fairy, as in fairy with wings, and the surf coast of Apollo Bay are equally beautiful places to visit. Between June and September you can spot southern right whales along the coast, where they come to migrate in the winter months. The road stretches between Torquay and Allansford, ideal as a surface sector road trip between Melbourne and Adelaide. Now, one word of warning on that road: it is very twisty. It is super scenic. If you do want to enjoy that road, you do it as a passenger and you let somebody else drive it. They do need to be very conscious of what's going on the road. It's twisting, it's turning, it's got gorgeous views, and you have other people who are sightseeing. It is dangerous as all hell. The amount of crashes on that road are unreal. So be very careful if you are going to drive that road, and you could probably do it 10 times and still see something new. Well worth the trip. If advertising, another weird fact, if advertising a lost or stolen item, you must include the caption, "No questions will be asked." So does that mean the thieves will get away with stolen goods? Good question. Alright. And life sentences cannot exceed 25 years. Are we really that laid back? But I think this is true. I think I have seen that in the legal system. 80% of the animals are unique to Australia. The animals of Australia are some of the most interesting in the world, from cuddly marsupials to a large variety of birds. There are so many opportunities to experience the wildlife of the country, from zoos and parks to spotting these unique creatures in the wild. It's easy to spot kangaroos in the fields and farmlands of New South Wales, but koalas and platypus are a little bit more elusive, so if you want to see them in the wild, having a guide show you the spots where they often hide can be very useful. Sydney Wildlife World, in the centre of the city, sorry, got distracted by Sophie. Sydney Wildlife World in the centre of the city is a great place to spot anything you miss. Taronga Zoo is actually the city's zoo currently, so it is a really good zoo. For Mrs. Coffee, there are drop bears, so you know you might want to see them in the wild. And if you do want to see the kangaroos, dawn and dusk is the best time to see them, although it is a very dangerous time to be driving because they are out and about, and if you do what I do, you will flatten them or damage your car if you have a small hire car from a rental company. Alright, back to a weird fact. If a urinal is not readily available, it is legal to urinate on the rear left tire of your vehicle. I'm not sure what happens if it's not your vehicle, but if it's somebody else's. In Melbourne, it is against the law to vacuum. Let's go all the women in the cleaners in the world. It is illegal to vacuum between 10 PM and 7 AM during weekdays, and 10 PM and 9 AM during weekends. Yep, we like our sleep. And I think the last weird fact is that children aren't allowed to purchase cigarettes, but there is no law specifically stating they cannot smoke them. I'm not sure if that is actually true these days. So, yes, you could probably take that with a bit of a pinch of salt. Alright, look, I think that might be the last one. No, sorry, there is another one. Okay, a fact about Uluru. 2.5 kilometres of Uluru is underground. The vast rock of Uluru sits in the red centre of Australia, surrounded by scrubland, and is sacred to various Aboriginal tribes in the area. It is one of the few places on the earth to be listed twice in the UNESCO World Heritage Site, both on cultural and natural lists. Amazingly, around 2.5 kilometres of the rock is thought to be underground, connected to the Olgas, where the rock emerges again 16 miles away. Experiencing Uluru at sunset is the best way to appreciate the stark beauty, and after dark, the pitch black skies reveal a multitude of sparkling stars. It is easy to visit Uluru from Alice Springs, reachable by plane or as a stop on the Ghan, the railway between Adelaide and Darwin. Now, the Ghan is the up and down north-south railway, and the Indian is the east-west railway, so there's literally no railway service like on the top half of the continent. So yeah, the Ghan is a little bit of a more rickety kind of thing. From the point of Uluru, you cannot walk it anymore. They closed it down last year for walkers, so you can no longer climb up to the top of the rock. You can just look at it from a distance. It has been, yeah, just the Aboriginals, the locals have shut it down as tourists being able to do that because it's a sacred site. So yes, you can still enjoy it. The skies are absolutely stunning. You're in the middle of nothing, so there is no light reflection whatsoever. So yeah, it's a great place to be able to look at. Look, this was Australian facts on this series. It was just a bit of a light-hearted thing. This is actually my second recording. The first one didn't record audio for some weird reason, and my husband was chipping in the background, so I didn't have the peanut gallery this time around. But look, I'm just after some light-hearted silliness. I do have some other sites that I'm going to get some facts from in the next bit of the series. I'm hoping to run this weekly so that we have something light to just kind of lighten up the whole end of the week and how everything is going and all of that kind of thing. So I hope you have enjoyed some of the facts. These are, as I say, these are Australian, but I do have some US laws. And again, I don't vouch for the veracity of any of these. These are all going to be very much for the silliness more than anything else. And yeah, it's just something to take our mind off whatever is going on in the world at the moment. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope you will join me in these, learn something, and certainly in this series, if it entices you to come over to visit Australia. It is a beautiful country, even with the drop bear spiders and snakes that will kill you. I'm joking, I'm seriously joking. But yeah, please come and visit this gorgeous country if this world ever gets its head on straight, and it will. We'll turn around and we'll get out of this, and it'll be fun, and it'll be back to normal as it can ever be. Things are changing, time is changing, and life is moving on. So you never know where we're going to go from here. Onwards and upwards, hopefully. So please join me next week with some more new facts, some more frivolity on a Friday evening or Friday afternoon, whenever this video gets edited and uploaded. And I will see you around on the tubes. Bye for now.